What is up, guys? Rick Hackus here, and this is how to kill Skolas, the level 35 end boss, with no burn. Very recently, Bungie decided to patch the game and remove the elemental burns from this fight, and also reduce Skolas' health. This was to force Guardians to, actually utilize this fight and utilize the mechanics the way they were designed. Now let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do when the door opens is run to the right. There is an elevated platform, you're going to see us go to it, and this is a great place to hold out from enemies. Not many adds, there will be a captain maybe and some vandals that will jump up, but it's likely only going to be one or two at a time, and you're not really pressured by the majority of adds when you're there. You can also have a good vantage point in order to jump up and Galahorn or sniper rifle Skolas to get damage on him. Now in order to damage him, you must kill the transparent servitors. Luckily, one of the spawn points for a transparent servitor is right here, but like just below the upper platform. It comes out of a door. So while you're running to this right platform, you will pretty much run face to face into a transparent servitor, kill him, hop up on the top, get the vantage point, and get some damage on Skolas. Once you've put some damage on Skolas and the servitor bonds are back up, simply run across the map to the other elevated platform on the other side. This other elevated platform is probably where you've been holding out from Fallen basically this entire time. This is definitely my favorite spot to hold out from Fallen. And luckily, it's yet another spawn point for transparent servitors. When you switch sides, however, you may not want to kill the servitors immediately. That's because Skolas does take his time getting in position to be shot. So sometimes if you kill the servitor, he's still going to be hanging out over on the other side, and it's not really going to be an option to put damage on him. So again, you want to wait until he moves into an area that you can actually properly see him, get some sniper shots, get some Galahorn shots, and then kill the servitors and then start damaging him. Now that's basically the entire strategy. You simply switch points from the two elevated platforms across the map and then just get damage on Skolas when you can. The key to this is to not get greedy and try to hold out. You really want to be extremely happy to switch. Like as soon as you're getting pressured, switch sides. As soon as you're getting pressured on the other side, switch sides. That's the key we found, and often again the way to go just straight to it. You'll see us go just straight to the other side. That's often open, and there's not many enemies that challenge you along this route, and that's simply because they bunch up on the opposite side of the map, because they kind of try to get up the ramp when you're on the one side, and they kind of just go in front of you when you're on the other side. So again, the just straight run that's on the back of the map is the best way to get from one elevated platform to the other. So you're going to go to one elevated platform, wait until Skolas is in position, kill the servitor, damage Skolas, and pretty much switch sides immediately after that happens. Once you do it on the other side, switch back, and then just keep repeating and keep switching sides. During this section of the fight, we found that Defender Titans, that was my class, were extremely useful. Popping a bubble takes a ton of pressure off your team and allows you to hold out a little bit longer on those platforms, and it basically allows you long enough to hold out to kill a servitor, damage Skolas, and kill another servitor and damage Skolas, all from the same platform. Without a Defender Titan, you may need to be switching even more, and sometimes Skolas does come through the section I was talking about where you can just go straight to the other side. If that happens, simply loop around extremely wide, like the widest way, the opposite around the map. You'll see some of us doing that in this gameplay. But again, you're going to need to be switching sides a ton if you don't have a Defender Titan. That's because you are going to be challenged by melee characters every once in a while. So make sure some of your teammates have shotguns in order to deal with these melee characters, because they will come up and they can wipe your team if you guys are all trying to Black Hammer Skolas. Now once you put enough damage on Skolas, it's going to say the servitor bonds are broken. This is going to start two more mechanics for this fight. Firstly, it's going to make it so that you are tainted, like Skolas taints the Guardian's light, and what that does is it puts an essence on as a random one of you, and in 30 seconds, you will die. Now, what you can do is one of your teammates can take this essence, and then they have it for 30 seconds, so you can keep handing it off to different teammates. Now, once you actually hand off the essence, you are immune for like 50 seconds or whatever it is, so you can't take it right back. So you need to make sure all 3 of you are alive so you can keep handing off the essence. During this part, we found that warlocks are extremely useful. Because a warlock can self-res, he can keep the essence on him for the entire time, and then when he dies, just self-res. And then it actually does take about 10 seconds before it to reapply and pick a new random guardian, so you do have a little bit of a buffer zone where no one has essence after a warlock does that, so that is pretty useful. So you definitely want to make sure that you're on top of this new essence mechanic. Make sure your team doesn't spread out too much, and make sure that you are available to hand it off to one another. Also, it's important to make sure to call out what your essence is at. You need to be vocal and say, hey guys, I'm at 10 seconds or I'm at 15 seconds, so people know they're going to have to hand off soon. And also, it's very important that when someone is taking your essence, make sure it works. We had a couple times where, I could have sworn the bar filled up, but my teammate ran away from me just a little bit, or something happened where I didn't end up taking his essence, and that can be problematic. So make sure both of you are standing still, take the essence, make sure it works, and then you can separate and continue the fight. Now, one more mechanic will be introduced, and that is defusing the mines. Now for this section, a Blade Dancer Hunter is insanely useful. They can go invisible and get the mines across the map depending on where you are holding out. Now wherever you are holding out, you need to make sure that the other 2 characters, if they're not invisible hunters, they need to go and get the mine that's near them. And then the invisible hunter can simply go and get the other 2 mines. Now, of course, it can be done without a hunter if you don't have one. A titan with a bubble would be insanely useful. In fact, would basically be required, especially when you get that middle mine. That's where you want to put up your bubble. Like, get it from one side, middle, and then pop your bubble to get the middle, and then hopefully get over to the other side to get the last mine. But again, Invisibility Hunter is going to be insanely useful for defusing these mines. Now those are the last mechanics of the fight, so in summary what we have is going back and forth between the 2 upper platforms. That's simply going to relieve pressure from you, make sure that the ads don't overwhelm you, and just give you opportunities to kill the transparent servitors, allowing you to damage Skolas while you switch from side to side. You're going to be doing this the entire time that mechanic doesn't change, but about halfway through, because you've put damage on Skolas, you're also going to have to deal with essence and mines. As long as you're on top of these mechanics, you should be able to succeed in this fight. Remember that his health has been substantially lowered, so it's definitely easier than it was trying to do this legit beforehand. Now, funny enough, I actually stepped over a green engram apparently exactly when we killed Skolas, so it looks like my reward for killing Skolas was a green scout rifle, but sadly that's kind of what it was. The green scout rifle was my reward for killing Skolas. I didn't get any other rewards, and I just want to say that I don't mind Bungie changing this fight. I found it a lot more intense, a lot more enjoyable this time around than just, black hammering him or Galahorning him until he died right away. However, I am a little peeved that they didn't increase the rewards. They made the fight harder, but they didn't make rewards easier to get, and no one, not a single person in my entire party out of my fire team got anything from this fight. Like, the green scout rifle was the best reward we got. So that's a little sad. I would like Bungie, if you're going to make this engagement harder, at least kind of up the level the rewards drop to match that. But that's my only pet peeve with this patch. Otherwise, I am in favor of it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and found this guide useful. And as always, have a good day.